Not to be confused with everyone's favorite holiday mascot, a clause is a subject-predicate pair. And I do not mean some special kind of fruit. I mean a pair as in a set of two things, like socks. A clause is a subject-predicate pair, one complete subject and one complete predicate. The subject explains who or what that clause is about, and the predicate explains what's going on with that subject. Every sentence has at least one clause, which means every sentence has at least one complete subject and one complete predicate. Now, I say complete subjects and predicates because there are plenty of sentences with just one clause that have multiple simple subjects or multiple simple predicates. Take this first sentence. This sentence is a single clause because we have one complete subject, the boy, and one complete predicate, sat and thought. But we have two simple predicates that go with boy, who is the simple subject. Measuring clauses by complete subjects and predicates helps us not to get confused. Here's another sentence where we have three simple subjects that all go together in one complete subject because the second sentence is about Amy, Amara, and I, and they're all doing the same thing. They met at the mall. Last but not least, here's a sentence with multiple simple subjects and multiple simple predicates, but still one clause because we have one complete subject, my sister and McLean, and one complete predicate, moved to town and started jobs. This clause just happens to be about two people, and what's going on is that they are doing two things. Now, besides being the building blocks of sentences, clauses also tell us what type of sentences we're dealing with. For instance, any sentence with just one clause, like the ones we saw on the previous page, is called simple. You can't get any more basic than a one-clause sentence. But let me take that one-clause sentence at the top of the screen and add another clause to it. Now I have two complete subjects. The first one is Mom and Dad, and the first complete predicate is took us on a trip. But then the second complete subject is Sarah and I, and the second complete predicate is developed motion sickness. We have two categories that a sentence with two or more clauses can fit into. While any sentence with one clause is simple, like a bowl of cereal for breakfast, any sentence with two or more clauses is compound, complex, or both. All you need to know for now is how to tell the difference between one or the other, and we'll start with compound sentences in this video. Think about a swimming pool with a shallow end and a deep end. If you are able to handle yourself in the deep end of the pool, we might call you an independent swimmer. You can swim all by yourself. But if you're not an independent swimmer, you're inevitably a dependent swimmer because you depend either on the shallow water or a kickboard or a noodle or a water wings to be safe in the pool. There are only two types of clauses in our English language, and they have the exact same names as these two types of swimmers. Independent clauses can be sentences all by themselves, and dependent clauses cannot. According to these rules, then, any simple sentence like this one here is an independent clause. A simple sentence has one clause in it, so that clause is being a sentence all by itself, and that is the definition of an independent clause. So the clause here, I overslept, floats all by itself as a sentence. It is an independent clause. Now let's grow the sentence bigger by adding another clause to this one. We've added another complete subject, I, and another complete predicate, missed the bus. And if you read that clause, I missed the bus, by itself, you'll see that it floats too. That second clause could be a sentence all by itself, just like I overslept. That makes this sentence compound. A compound sentence happens when you have two independent clauses linked together, floating side by side. And the magic is this word in the middle, so. So is one of 7 special words called fanboys. They're called that because the first letter of each word forms the word fanboys. The technical name for fanboys is coordinating conjunctions. That's their part of speech, and these are the only 7 coordinating conjunctions. Any compound sentence has to have a fanboys, and if you don't have a fanboys, you don't have a compound sentence. Only a fanboys can connect two independent clauses. And notice that the fanboys is not part of either clause. It goes in the middle. See if you can spot the fanboys in this next example of a compound sentence. Yep, right in the middle, for. There's a clause on either side of that word. The first clause, my sister went to extra help, and the second clause, she needed more math practice, can both be sentences by themselves. So these are two independent clauses, and the fanboys is what makes that possible. By swapping out one fanboys for another, we can start to change around the meaning of this or any other sentence. But as long as we have a fanboys in the middle, connecting two clauses on either side, those clauses will be independent, and that sentence will be compound. So what we've learned thus far is that every clause has one complete subject and one complete predicate. A sentence with one clause is a simple sentence, and a simple sentence is an independent clause by itself. A compound sentence is two independent clauses joined by a fanboys. We'll explore complex sentences and dependent clauses next.